Hello, welcome to the channel. My name's Junior and I'm the owner of Jet Engineering. Over the years, I've built a few cars. I documented some of these on forums. I've also documented builds on Facebook and more recently on Instagram. But I've never done a video build and it seems most natural way to go. Something to look back on, I'm sure, once I'm older, sitting down with the grandkids. So behind me, you can see my Audi S3 AL. I'd already uploaded a few videos previously showing me moving forward to a 5-cylinder conversion. So all the parts that I bought, the fabrication work being done, and you pretty much saw it as a whole car, almost ready to turn the key. And now we're in this position. So I thought, what better time to start recording and documenting this build, because we're literally at the beginning. So I'm going to start with the shell. As you can see, I've stripped off all of the running gear to be sent off, powder coated, uprated bushes. But the underside of the car is looking sorry for itself as well. So whilst I'm here and I've got the space to do it, I thought that I would grind back all of the original undersill. There's a few repairs that need to be done under there, which I'll take you and show you through shortly. And then once that's all done and I'm ready, I will then use the tintable Raptor using the same color as the car, which is Nagaro blue for anyone that's interested. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the phone, I'm going to turn it around, and then we'll just get straight into it. Right, so having picked you up and turned you around, there is the car in question. Subframe removed, hubs removed, steering rack removed, shocks, hubs, exhaust, prop, rear axle, petrol tank, everything's been taken off. And I've started digging and prodding and having a little wire wheel here and there, but this is what she looks like. So as I said, there's a few repairs that need doing. I had a little poke around at the grommet that was living in here, and this is pretty much what happened. So I'm like, okay, we'll just cut that out and get that repaired. A bit of a similar story under here as well. There was a grommet like this one. Started to have a little bit of a dig around, and now I've got a big hole in my floor. So again, need to cut that out and have that repaired as well. But the rest of it is just pretty much surface rust here and there, and nothing that can't be sorted out. I mean, it's an old car, probably could have looked for another shell, but kind of like this one, so I thought I'd save it. Here you can see a bit more rust that I've started to knock back. So overall, there's a lot of work that needs to happen under here. Recently I had a Mark 1 Audi TT battery tray welded in, so that I could have the battery in the rear. But yeah, pretty much this is what we're working with, and I'm hoping to document it all the way through and bring you guys along with me. Here you can see the old swing arms that I removed and how weathered they looked. Some old shocks, some springs, rear anti-roll bar, hubs, the fuel tank, which will just get a good clean before that goes back. The rear diff and the cage sitting down in there. One of the hubs, which I've already pressed out all the hubs, the hub carrier, sorry, I've already pressed out the bearings from. And over here, we've got the front end of the car. So subframe, steering rack, wishbones, front panel. Got the prop shaft and drive shafts down there. And then over here, we've got the 5-cylinder engine, and then all the exhaust system and turbo kit, etc. Managed to get myself a good deal on some powder coated and bushed swing arms, wishbones, etc. And over the back there, you can also see the diff carrier. So that's all ready. We just need to get on with underneath here. I've decided to start on this rear passenger side or near side. So as I said in the video earlier, I've already started to knock a few bits back and have a look at it. So yeah, I'm gonna now pop the camera into the stand and get this time lapse going. So here you can see me started grinding away. I actually went off to change the fitting on the end of the angle grinder to a knotted wheel version, as the first one was a bit slow at removing the underseal. Then poked a few bits out of the way, including the rear loom for the ABS sensor and headlight level adjuster. And I also don't have any breathing apparatus on, so forgive me, I forgot it at home, and it's definitely advisable to always have a mask of some sort to look after those lungs of yours. So I will definitely have that in the next video. Apologies. All right, well, this is kind of a little way through. Most of it's ground back in this arch. Still got like the smaller bits to get. A little bit more rust up here to deal with. But ultimately, oh, and a little bit there. But it's kind of not as bad as I thought it was. So a lot more grinding to go, but that's pretty much almost one arch complete. One down, 3 to go, and still a load of the underside. All right, now we're going to start on the driver's side rear arch. As you can see, it's another day. Got my breathing apparatus, got my goggles. I've got my gloves on, so I've got all my protective gear, which is important. So let's turn this on to some time lapse and just get straight into it. Okay, it's by no means finished, but majority of this rear wheel arch has been ground back, ready for the repairs. And obviously before the Raptor epoxy primer. So I think I've had enough of doing wheel arches. Might try a little bit of the underside. Okay, here's something worth pointing out. This tow hook for the rear, as you can see, really rusty. You can see all the stuff on the floor. Bolts absolutely rusted to bits. I'm just getting out the last few now, and then I can get this out of the way and send that off for sandblasting and powder coating or something, at least so it's protected. But yeah, something worth noting during this job. Might be an absolute animal to get these bolts out if you don't have the right tools. I think they were 17 mil. Managed to get out 3 of them with smashing a 16 over them, but the others weren't working that way, so I had to get out the special tools See if I can get it to focus. Yep, there we go. And so far so good, so 2 more to go. Alright, managed to get this off now, so that's ready to go off for sandblasting, powder coating, etc. to make that more appeasing on the underside. Kind of bored of doing the arches now, so I'm going to start on a bit of the floor and get a bit more done. Okay, I think this is about day 4. Mostly just doing like a couple of hours each night here and there. So obviously I've done the rear wheel arches, and this is pretty much how far I've got on the underside. I can tell you this now, I'm absolutely hating this job with all my might. It is so painful and long and a horrible job. It's got to get done, but my God, I would say to anyone who's thinking of doing this, pay someone, do not do it yourself. I'm sure the satisfaction once finished will be great, but right now, all I can think about is, I don't want to be doing this. But nearly there. These 2 bits left on the underside at the rear. A couple of obviously harder bits to get, like in the corners here. But yeah, the bulk of it is done. And then I can start working my way to the front. Hopefully these will be a bit easier as it's much flatter than all the nooks and crevices at the back here. Just need to give the tunnel a clean, and again just go over it, nothing too crazy because there's not much on undersill on that parts. And then once I've dealt with the 2 floor panels there, then I need to come into the front arches here, and then we can call it a day. So I mean, I don't even want to say I don't even feel like I'm halfway, and I've put quite a few hours into this already. So yeah, anybody thinking to do this, don't do it. So on that note, it's cold, it's late. I've still got more to do here. I think there's enough time lapse in this episode for you guys to understand what I'm trying to achieve. I don't want this episode to be too boring, so I'm gonna crack on and get this finished up. And in the next episode, I'll be showing you that it's all finished. Don't know how long that's going to take. But once it's all finished and I'm ready to move on to the next steps, then we'll come back for another episode. So thanks for joining me. If you'd like to keep up to date when I'm uploading the videos, obviously please subscribe. Please share as wide and far as you can. Please like. Whack some comments into the comment section. How do you, if you've done this before, how did you feel about it? The most painful part for me is the arms, holding up the angle grinder for long periods of time. But apart from that, it's a job that's got to get done. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.